Hi, I'm Ryan and I'm the owner of MK Loft Boarding based here in Milton Keynes. Before you start boarding a loft, here is a list of a few checks you need to make before you start. One of the first checks that you'll make when boarding a loft are the joist spacings, which are either 400mm or 600mm, and this will determine the amount of materials that you'll need. Second is load bearing and limitations. So you need to be careful of what joist you're cutting if you're enlarging any hatches in the loft. So you can't just be cutting any joists because some of them are supporting weight from underneath. One of the third checks you'll make is the current insulation depth. So a lot of homes only have around about 100mm or less. The recommended level is 270mm, which consists of a bottom layer of 100mm and then a top layer of 170mm laid adjacent to the bottom. Next, you will check ventilation routes, so that is making sure none of the insulation is tucked too far down into the eaves, preventing any air coming in from the soffits and gutters, and also the felt on the roofs and where that overlaps, and making sure that there is sufficient gap in between them. Today we have installed some roof felt vents in here which just open up the overlapping of the felt, allowing for more air to get in and circulate. And finally, any routes of cables, pipe works, and anything that will hinder the positioning of the raised system. We're raising the system up, which allows us to bridge over any cables and pipe works, so nothing's being squashed directly between the boards and the joists. One of the jobs that we're currently on at the moment has a lot of downlights in it, so we are sticking these loft lids which help protect the top of the downlights from inside the loft. Downlights are prone to getting quite hot, and these lids just protect that so they're not being touched by the insulation. One of the first practical issues you may come across in the loft is insulation that's in the way. Especially in any new build property, the current insulation depths are 200mm and plus. So the first thing we'd have to do is roll back the top layer of insulation so that the ceiling joists are exposed, which allows us to install the legs safely on there and walk around in the loft. You want to avoid compressing any of the insulation because this works best when it's nice and fluffy. So the best thing is to roll it out of the way, keep it nice and neat so the insulation doesn't get damaged and will not need replacing. Some of the reasons why you do not place boards directly on top of the ceiling joist. One of them, especially in new build homes, it will invalidate your NHBC warranty, which lasts for 10 years. It increases heat loss when you squash the insulation by up to 50%, and also increases the risk of condensation and mould. This is the process for installing LoftZone store floor system. First of all, we want to expose the ceiling joist, so we will lift up any boards that are currently placed directly on the joist, or if you do have that top layer of insulation, we're going to roll this back. Then we will screw in the tri-supports and uni supports into the ceiling joist. We will then slide on the metal cross beams, relay the insulation in between these, and then screw down 18mm chipboard. You may think loft boarding is quite easy, but there is many tools and PPE and other things to consider before you start. Some of the PPE you would need are gloves, masks and eye protection. You then want some adequate lighting so you can work safely. And some of the tools that you will need are a driver, a drill, circular saw, jigsaw, multi-tool, hand saws, and lots of other small equipment that will make your job a lot easier. One thing that is overlooked is any waste on the job. Any waste needs bagging up correctly and disposed of at the correct facilities. The reality check. Most people think installing loft boards is really easy, but it isn't. It can be carried out by a basic DIYer, but if anything goes wrong, it can be damaging and costly. Why most people decide to choose a Trustmark accredited installer for loft boarding? They're going to have all the correct insurances in place. They're going to get rid of your waste legally. They're going to protect your insulation by having the adequate airflow, and they're also going to get the job done a lot quicker and safely.
Oh wow, look at this. Oh, that's superb. Great job. Really great job. Happy with it? Thank you very much. Very happy. Really good job. Really good job.